Hello, church. As we jump into this next year, what are some of the things that you are prioritizing? What are the goals that you're making, resolutions that you have, or maybe expectations you're holding to? Here's a few things that I think need to be at the forefront of our mind if we're going to call ourselves followers of Jesus. If we bear the name Christian, these have to be at the forefront of our mind. What about the gospel? What about how we spend our time, how we spend our money, how we relate to one another or invest in relationships, let alone how are we investing in our relationship with Jesus? Let's consider these things together in this new series called First Things First, getting our priorities straight. Money is a difficult subject to discuss. We talk about it in the church, and quite often the approach in discussing money in the church is about giving, generosity. Tithes and offerings are words that we use, donations, those kinds of things. But talking about money in those terms, for people who are already struggling with money, can kind of be a heavy burden on them. So is there another way for us to be talking about money as followers of Jesus? I certainly think so. We're told to honor God with our wealth. In Proverbs chapter 3, verse 9 to 10, it says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty and your vats will be bursting with wine." Here we have this implication of this idea of first fruits being set apart for God, first fruits of all of our produce being set apart for God. And this is good, this is important, and this is kind of some of the idea that we have around tithing and giving and generosity, that we are obedient in setting a portion of that aside. But the reality is everything that we have is from God and for his purposes. And so it's not just the portion that we collectively pool together with the rest of the church or different charities that we support, but all of what we have, 100%, is God's. And so therefore, we have to be good stewards of what he's entrusted us with in how we spend it, on the things that we spend it on. So managing our money is important to God, not just in the fact that we give our money, but that we manage it well. And it's not that we can't purchase things that we enjoy. It's not that we can't have things that we want or desire, but it's that we are living responsibly with what we've been entrusted with. There are a few things that I look at when I myself and my wife, when we sit down and we work through our budget. The first thing that we look at would be our income and knowing what our income is. We then map out all of our expenses. But before we map each expense out, we have a personal calculation that we use for how much we're going to be giving to the church. We have a percentage of our salary that we set aside so that it will go to the purposes of the pooled resources to help those in need. We then look at all of our expenses that we have, the needs that we have, the things that we need to survive and to live off of. Food and bills that we have, ongoing bills that we have, things that we need in order to live. And this isn't a bad thing. We have to be responsible and pay who we owe, who supplies the needs that we have. We have to remember, though, that it's God who also supplies our needs. Philippians 4:19 says, "My God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus." We also then look at our family and future needs. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." In 1 Timothy 5:3-4 and verse 8, it tells us to honor widows who are truly widows. But if a widow has children or grandchildren, let them first learn to show godliness to their own household and to make some return to their parents, for this is pleasing in the sight of God. But if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he is denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So we have a responsibility to our families here in the present and planning ahead in the future. What is our future going to look like? We also have to consider the days where we're not able to earn money anymore because of our health conditions or because of of old age, whatever it is. We have to be preparing for those days as well. But regardless, our trust is in the fact that God himself provides for us and our every need when we need it. We also can look at our wants. We know that God supplies everything, not only for our need, but also for our enjoyment. It tells us that for where our treasure is, then there our heart will be also. This is in Matthew chapter 6:21. We have to be wise about where our money is going. We have to be wise about where our heart and our desires lie. And is it in money? Is it in materials? Is it in things which God may supply for our every need? But are we using it for his glory? As you sit down and consider what it means to live within your means, work through a budget that reflects generosity in giving to others, that reflects future needs in your family as it stands now, and also considering what your current needs are and your current expenses. And are there things that you might have to go without, even though you might want it, but just to go without in order to continue to get by? And also, are you making your needs known that the rest of the body can come alongside you and serve in to help you in the time of need? So these are some thoughts as it regards generosity and stewardship and how we are to manage our money well. John Wesley, finally, he challenges us with this: to earn all you can, to save all you can, so that you can give all you can. God bless your week, and we'll see you whenever.